Hi everyone and welcome to Traveling Misknits. My name is Pia and I am so happy that you're joining me here today for a little chat about my yarn adventures. I didn't record a video last week, so one might think that 2 full weeks of knitting would give me significant progress on some of my long-standing webs. One would be mistaken, because I haven't had a whole lot of me time these past 2 weeks, and whatever time I have had, I have spent casting on right and left. So what I have to share with you today is progress on one whip, one sweater that I really want to finish because I need it right now. And then I have 2 new cast-ons, that was difficult. 2 new cast-ons to show. One is crochet and one is knitting. But before we get into all of that, I want to show you what I'm wearing, because this is my cat number 5, the sweater that I designed for our 5th knit-a-thon. The pattern is finally ready. It's gonna go live tomorrow, Sunday, May 19. Yeah, I'm kind of, it feels kind of anticlimactic to release a pattern way after the knit-a-thon has finished. And actually a wonderful viewer gave me a great idea that I should prepare the pattern before the knit-a-thon. I should release it for the knit-a-thon so that we could all knit the same thing together. So that is what I'm gonna do next time in the fall. But for now, my cat number 5 is finished. I am loving it. It is so soft and squishy and cozy. And even though we do have beautiful weather here in Denmark these days, I am still enjoying it a lot. I'm just gonna stand up so I can show it to you better. So here she is, my finished cat number 5. And you will have seen this sweater before if you've been following me for a while. The last thing that I needed to do on it was pick out the bind off. For some reason, as I was knitting it, I forgot to refer to my old pattern. I forgot to bind off in the contrasting color, but I went back and picked out the bind off on sleeves and on the body and redid it in the contrasting color. And I really like the effect also up here in the neckline. You have this folded over neckline and you have just the contrasting color peeking out. I really like that look. I think it ties the sweater together beautifully. As you can see, I chose a big size for myself. This can be knit with as much or as little positive ease as you prefer. I just chose a big oversized thing, but still the sleeves are relatively slim, which just, I like the look of an oversized sweater that is either short or has slim sleeves or a deep neckline, something to show that there's actually a body under all of the material. So for this one, it is relatively short, but the main factor in making it a good oversized fit is that the sleeves are relatively fitted. It is, as most of my sweaters, longer in back, just so that it doesn't ride up when you move around and when you sit down and all of that. And yeah, as I said, you can choose the amount of ease that you want. The only thing is, I will say, don't go with negative ease, not for color work. It is often not the best idea because color work, it is less stretchy than regular knitting. And for this one, the color work is placed over the shoulders here. So if you choose a size that is too small, a size with negative ease, your shoulders are just going to be constricted and the color work is not going to look nice. You're going to pull on it as you move in your sweater. But from 0 ease to whatever amount I have here, which is quite a lot, it works. My testers all knit different versions, different sizes with different amounts of ease, and they all turned out beautifully. In the pattern, there are 2 different sleeve ribbing instructions. There is one for a classical fit where the sleeve ribbing like cinches in here for a tight ribbing, and then there is the one that I have chosen here with a wider cuff, just for an even more relaxed look. So yeah, oh, pattern out tomorrow. Please be kind to her. She has not been the easiest, but now she is, in my opinion, perfect. The yarn that I used for this sweater is rescued yarn from Garnspecialisten. They rescue yarn from the textile industry where either they can be yarns that were made for machine knitting, or they can be yarns that were actually created for hand knitting, but for some reason they never sold, or yeah. They were on their way to destruction, and then they buy the yarn and they sell it to hand knitters for very, very reasonable prices. I will link their shop in the description box below. But yeah, I used their Italian merino, which is obviously, with a concept like this, you never know what you're going to be able to find. But their Italian merino is one of those that are almost always there. And it is a sport weight / light DK weight merino, untreated. A beautiful yarn. I paired it with their brushed mohair to get like just a little bit of fluff. And then the contrasting color is their alpaca suri, which is a mix of regular alpaca and suri alpaca, so that also has just a little bit of fluff. Okay, let's talk about some knitting that I have actually done since we last spoke. First up is a long-standing-ish whip in a beautiful project bag from Knitwear by Maki. Returning viewers well know that I love her bags. They are so functional and she always has the best fabrics. This one is so spring light and happy. So in here we have my Christmas Day cast on, my, well, the CDCO 23. This is not from Christmas Day, but I have been working on it for a while, and I need to finish because I want to wear this thing, and I want to wear it right now. I am knitting it as a very light spring summer t-shirt. I am gonna make it short sleeved, and then probably come fall I'm gonna pick out the bind off and knit the sleeves to full length. But yeah, I am loving this. It would be perfect for the weather that we're having right now. So I just want to finish. This is my priority for the next week is finishing this thing. I can do it. If I don't cast on a lot of new projects, I can do it. I can finish this. I am gonna go for the folded over neckline. There are two versions in the pattern. I am going for the folded over neckline here. I didn't stitch it down yet. I rarely knit down a folded over neckline because when you knit it down, it's gonna be really stretchy because knitting is, which is of course nice, but the thing is, the neckline of a sweater does carry a lot of the weight of the sweater, so it's easily compromised. When you wear your sweater, over time, the neckline is probably going to stretch out and it's all going to look a little sloppy, a little droopy. Of course, you can always add some elastic thread. When I need to do that, I don't put it inside the folded over neckline. I always put it where I knit it down. So in that seam, it's not a seam, but yeah. But usually what I will do is I will seam it down after the knitting, and that will give it just a little bit more structure. The sleeves on the CDCO are in ribbing. Originally they're made in twisted rib, but I have now made two versions of this model, and I decided I want to try to see what just a regular 1x1 ribbing will do to the overall look. And so far, I am loving it. I have split for the sleeves. It is all just plain stockinette stitch in the round and then a little bit of sleeves. I should be good to go next week. The yarn that I am using for this one is very special, and the yarn is a big part of the reason for why I want to finish it now. Because this yarn, if I could only knit with one yarn for the rest of my life, this yarn would be a strong contender. Because to me, it has the best of all the things a yarn can have. It is a non-superwash wool, which means that it is a yarn that will help you look like a better knitter than you are. Stitches are just gonna find their way. They're gonna look nice, even if your tension is a little bit wonky. The yarn is gonna help you. See, for this one, I am knitting it at a very, very open gauge. This is a light fingering weight, but I am knitting it on 3.75 millimeters, which is 5-6-ish US. So a really large needle and a very open gauge, but it just gives the most beautiful material. And because of this wool in the yarn, it looks nice, even though I didn't block it. Of course, it's gonna bloom, it's gonna even out with blocking, but now it looks nice right off the bat, which is always nice. I like a yarn that is willing to help me. So it is 80% untreated wool, and then it is 20% silk. So I'm a little undecided about silk yarns because they're beautiful. They have this sheen, this glow from within. They're very nice to wear. If it's hot, they're gonna keep you cool. If they're cold, they're gonna add some warmth. But often they are slippery. They're smooth and they're slippery. They're difficult to work with. It can be totally worth it because the end result is going to be beautiful, but it can be kind of a pain to knit with a yarn with a large silk content. The silk in this yarn is somehow rougher, and rough is such a bad word for it, but it feels like raw silk. Does that even make sense? So this silk has this, it still carries itself. It doesn't like droop. You can see there's some drape to it, but not an awful lot. So yeah. One of the reasons that I can get away with knitting a light fingering weight even to a 21 stitch gauge is because it is made on a mule spinner. It is a woolen spun yarn, so a lot of air is trapped in the yarn. I don't know if that's going to come through on the camera, but you can easily feel it once you get the yarn in your hands. You can feel that the string of yarn is not only yarn, it is also a lot of air that is trapped inside it. Trapping air inside the strand of yarn means that the yarn is very willing to bloom with wash and block. It also means that the garment is going to be warmer because the air is trapped, so it will keep you very warm and comfortable. And yes, it is the Itoshimo. Maybe I should have started out with that. It is the Itoshimo yarn. And it is, as I said, 80% wool and 20% silk. It does have 266 meters to 50 grams. So quite a light fingering weight. But because of the properties, it will bloom, it will fill out, and yeah, I'm actually amazed that this was possible. I was completely ready to rip back and start over holding the yarn double, but I am loving this material. And it will be just a perfect little piece to put on a spring day or a cooler summer day. It's just gonna be so perfect. And I want to finish it now because now is when I will get the most use of it. I will also be using it all throughout winter. As I said, I'm probably gonna pick out the bind off and knit the sleeves to full length come fall. And it is going to be a perfect layering piece all through fall and winter. Yeah. So enjoying this a lot. This is the kind of knitting that I can go on autopilot. I can read or watch television. I can sit and chat with friends and family, because I'm in Denmark. I get to see friends and family. I am gonna dedicate myself to finishing this one before I go crazy with all the other new and shiny things that I have. And yeah, new and shiny. Because see, now I'm trying to come up with excuses. Like, I don't need to come up with excuses. But anyway, 2 weeks ago, we were going on a cruise with my youngest son and his family. We had very limited suitcase space. So I decided bringing an existing whip would mean wasting a lot of suitcase space. And so, of course, I went ahead and I cast on 2 new projects because I needed knitting, of course, but I also needed crochet. Yeah, both bags, Knitwear by Maki. This is the Knitwear by Maki week. Her bags are beautiful. I actually think I'm gonna link them. She does sell them. She ships worldwide and she sells them on Instagram. So I'm gonna link her Instagram profile. Wow, I almost lost stitches here. So I cast on this. Isn't it beautiful? No, I'm sorry. It has been scrunched up on the needles. This was my plain knitting. So yeah, it has taken some beatings. What this is the beginnings of my Visette wrap. This pattern that I made the wrap last spring. It was one of the patterns to go in the book, the infamous book. And I decided to go ahead and knit it up in a budget-friendly yarn, a different fiber content, just to see how it would work. And also because I love the wrap. I want another. I want one in a dark color and one in a light color. And I am fiddling with it and you can't possibly see anything. You start this wrap with a long strip of ribbing, and then you pick up stitches along the side, and you cast on stitches on the other side. See, originally I thought, oh, you're just gonna pick up on both sides, but that was just too fiddly. So you pick up on one side, and then you cast on the other side and just attach them later. And you have this strand of ribbon going all the way down the sleeves. The body of the sweater is worked in a very, very easy stitch pattern, a textured pattern, just to give it a little bit of waffly interest. It's so squishy, this pattern, and so nice and so difficult to show on camera. But yeah, it's nice, believe me. There is a lot of knitting to be done in this one. It's a big oversized wrap. So there are many, many hours of knitting. It is simple, easy going, so I am gonna enjoy working on this. The yarn that I chose is actually a yarn that is sold by my favorite tech editor in the whole wide world, Kirsten Brun. This is BC yarn, and this is their Bio Balance, which is a wool cotton blend. Usually I am not the biggest fan of wool cotton blends. I mean, every spring I will knit myself a t-shirt in one of those wool cotton blends, and I don't wear them. I end up never wearing them because, like I said, the Ito Shimo is the kind of yarn that will make you look like a better knitter than you actually are. Most wool and cotton blends are, to me, the opposite. It's the kind of yarn that's going to show you every little single mistake you did. But this one, and it might be because there is more wool than cotton in it, it might be because of the way that it's spun, it is so easy to work with. So easy. So this is a fingering weight, Bio Balance, very, very nice to work with yarn, and it is budget friendly. Also, it is a friendly yarn all over. It has a special certification, GOTS certified, which that's a certification that takes, I would say, all the steps of producing a yarn that I can think of are taking into consideration when you give this GOTS certification. So it is, how are the animals treated? How is the wool produced? Do we waste a lot of water? How is it dyed? How about the people who actually produce it? Do they get a decent pay and decent working conditions? So this yarn, you can knit this and feel really good about yourself. And yeah, as I said, friendly all over. I am gonna link the yarn. It's been a while since I bought it, so I don't remember the price right now, but I remember thinking, wow, that is a good price for a nice yarn. And after now working with it, I will say it's an excellent price for an excellent yarn. I am really enjoying this one. And yeah, I am back in all the grays. But, I mean, last week I did show another GOTS certified yarn, also from Kirsten Brun, which was fuchsia. So I'm just balancing out all of the colors with some of my beloved grays. I try to always have a crochet backup project when I fly, because I'm always scared that my needles are going to be taken away from me in security. I am thinking a crochet hook, that's probably not going to be taken away. So for that reason, and because I knew we were going on a cruise, I knew there would be some poolside knitting, there would be some bar knitting, crochet, poolside crochet, bar crochet. There would be lots of times where I would need a small portable project. So I saw this, the Hexagon flower shirt, and I was like, I want that. So I took some brown cotton yarn, just an 8/4 cotton, and worked up one of the hexagons, and it's beautiful. But I also realized in working up this hexagon that this was going to be quite the commitment. It was going to be a long-term whip. I am not a very good crocheter. An expert crocheter could whip this up in no time, because the hexagons themselves are very, very simple to work. But I decided, when I'm gonna throw myself into something that is gonna be so time consuming, then I wanna do it in a way that I just know that I'm gonna love it forever. So, black. Black saffron from Drops. I really like this cotton. It is relatively tightly spun, not as tightly as the Anne from Circular that I've talked about before. It can split just a little bit, but I don't find it crazy splitty. It is, again, budget friendly. Yeah, I have knit a lot with this, especially when my kids were small. I would knit a lot with this, and you can do anything to this. This is non-destructible. It can really take some beatings. So I decided to go ahead, excuse me, to go ahead and make the flower hexagon shirt in black. What I have been doing, and I have an example here, I have, when we have been going out, just brought one ball of yarn, a crochet hook, and then I have been working the first rounds of the hexagons, because I think there are 5 rounds to a hexagon, but on the 5th round, you crochet together with the previous hexagons. So what I have been doing is I have been working up 4 rounds of a lot of hexagons. Then I measured out how much yarn do I need to finish it, how much yarn does the 5th round take. And then I have taken that amount of yarn, cut it, made it into a teeny tiny ball and just attached it to the 4 round hexie. Because then when I had some time alone, sitting quietly, I have then been crocheting them together. And it is very, very, very simple. I mean, everyone can do this. I can do this, everyone can do this. And it worked like a charm. I'm really happy that I took the time to crochet a 5th round and then pull it out and measure how much yarn do I need, because that would have been a lot of ends to weave in if I hadn't done it this way. Now I have 1 end per hexie, which is definitely manageable. The starting end, I always crochet over that one. So 1 per hexie to weave in, that's fine. And I might even be able to crochet over some of these as I start attaching the next row here. So what you're doing is you're working hexagons, and then you're working pentagons, and you're working half hexagons, and all of these are crocheted together in a very intricate pattern, but I would say the way the pattern is written, it gives you clear instructions on how to make the hexie, how to make the pentagon, how to make the half hexie, how to crochet them together. And then there's a picture, like a chart, but not a chart, picture, showing you how to put them together. One thing I could have wished to have in the pattern was you need this many hexies, you need this many pentas, but you know, I just went ahead and counted them, and I still have a good ways to go. The way that you size this one up and down is by, if you want a larger size, then some of the rounds you have double crochets, and you just turn those into trebles, because then of course the hexie grows and then the shirt will grow. So that's actually kind of genius, I think. So yeah, this is, see, I'm torn because this would be wonderful to wear in summer, but it's also such a good summer project because it is very portable. As I said, I just brought 1 ball of yarn and a crochet hook, and I could whip up a handful of hexies as we were sitting. So it is probably gonna be my summer project, unless I at some point go crazy and like, I need to finish my Christmas Day cast on. We shall see. Time will tell what happens with this. For sure, I am gonna end up with a finished shirt. I do think that I am gonna modify the pattern slightly because I am such an expert crocheter, so I should definitely go ahead and modify patterns. I would really like it to be a polo rather than a shirt, a full button down. And I think I can do that. I think I can. I hope I can. Also, I'm probably gonna knit the edging and the collar rather than crochet, just because I think knit stitches might look just a little bit neater. I'm not a big fan of rows of single crochets in garments. You know, they might grow on me, you never know. But for now, my idea is that once I have all of the hexes and pentagons and whatever ready, then I'm gonna just pick up knit stitches in the crochet and then knit the bottom bands and the collar and probably also the edging on the body and the sleeves. We'll see. No one knows until I'm there. Right now, I am just enjoying the process. My fingers are itching to get to work on my crochet dress again, but I have promised myself to focus on one project, my Christmas Day cast on, and then after that, I can go crazy. I am gonna show you my perfect little cardigan, not because I have made any progress at all, but yeah, in case you didn't watch the episode 2 weeks ago, here I am. I just separated for the sleeves. I have loads of beautiful knitting to do in a yarn that I am loving, in a color that is, should we just say, new to me? I am loving this. The reason why I'm showing it to you is not to mock myself for not knitting on it. It is because I want to remind you about the PCL Cal, the knit along that we have going for this perfect little cardigan. There is still a discount code. If you use the code PCLKAL, then you are going to get a discount for the pattern. This is valid both on Ravelry and in my webshop, by the way. And if you post pictures of your perfect little cardigan using the hashtag PCLKAL on Instagram, then you enter to win some prizes. I have finally put together a prize package for the PCL Cal. There is going to be, obviously, a set of knitting bags from Knitwear by Maki. Now, it is only fitting that this episode turned out to be the Knitwear by Maki episode, because she donated 2 of her beautiful bags. And actually, the sizes are this one that is holding a short-sleeved light sweater for me. It's not gonna fit like a huge sweater project like this one, but a light sweater, t-shirt, shawl, something like that. And then her sock bags, which I love her sock bags. They are so cute, like little fat ones. They're so adorable and they can hold a lot. So a set of those in this beautiful color. I actually have set myself in this color and I am loving it. So I'm very happy to be able to give that away. And then I'm also gonna add a skein of my own hand-dyed yarn. This is a DK weight non-superwash merino that is dyed in the colorway that I am calling Princess on the P, because it's princessy, and then you have just a little bit of green for the P. So I am not dyeing yarn anymore, but I still have a little bit left, and I thought that this would be beautiful together with these bags. So if you post on Instagram, you don't need to finish your perfect little cardigan, which for me is nice, because this knit along runs until June 1st. There's not a lot of time left, but you can easily go ahead, pick out the yarn, cast on for your perfect little cardigan. Let me see it on Instagram and you will be entered to win this beautiful prize. That was it for the creative content this week. I am, as some of you might be able to tell from the backdrop, in Denmark these days. I have 2 glorious weeks here to hang out with friends and family, enjoy springtime in Denmark. Every time I open a window, the house fills with smells of flowers, the lilacs. We have so many lilacs here on the farm. They just overpower me. On the field next to me, they're growing raps. I have no idea what it's called in English. It's a yellow plant. You make oil from it and it smells. It has a very distinct smell. As a child, I really hated the smell. Now I love it. But yeah, everything is just nice, beautiful, very relaxed. I have a couple of dogs sleeping in the background there. Misa is very happy that we're home again, and I have promised her that we will stay together for a long, long time now. I am meeting up with friends, also with knitting friends. I'm going to go yarn shopping. On Tuesday, I am going to go visit Garnspecialisten, the people that gave me the yarn for the cat number 5. I'm going to go visit their storehouse to see some of their yarns in person, which I am very excited about. We are going to go live together on Instagram on Tuesday at 1 o'clock. It's going to be on their Instagram, so I'm going to link that in the description box below, together with the patterns and everything that I talked about. I will try to remember to link everything in the description box below. If I forget something, just ask in the comments and I will provide a link. But yeah, if you understand Danish, you can go on Instagram Tuesday at 1 o'clock. And I think they're going to do a rerun of the live. I am not entirely sure about the details. So unprepared, but everything's going to work out, I'm sure. The last 2 weeks have been wonderful, but also kind of busy. Going on vacation with 3 little kids. I'm too old for this. I get tired, but I have really enjoyed spending a lot of time together with the little ones. The quality of your time together just changes when you know that we are going to be together 24/7 for a long, long, long time. And it was glorious. We did go on a cruise in the Mediterranean, so we got to see Cannes in France. Then we went to Italy, where we saw Genova, we saw Cinque Terre. It was pouring rain that day, so we didn't go into Cinque Terre, which was horrible, being right next to one of my favorite places on earth and not being able to go because no one thought to pack any rain gear at all. And also going out for a full day excursion with the 3 little ones, and it's raining cats and dogs. No, we decided we'll go together, maybe this summer, maybe next summer when they come visit us in Italy. Then we went to Rome, and that was magical. My oldest granddaughter, Isabella, she's 11. So she really enjoyed all the stories about Rome, and we went to the cat temple at Torre Argentina. She had a lot of fun until one of the cats scratched her. They're feral cats, so What do you know? After Rome, and now I need to look at my notes, we went to Palma de Mallorca, which, yeah, we were just there. It was nice to be back. Really enjoyed that. Then we continued on to Barcelona, where I got yarn. We went to All You Knit Is Love. And when I say we, I mean me and Peter, because the parents were not really into a longer hike to go find a yarn store. So we left them on a playground, and then Peter and I had a beautiful stroll through the old town in Barcelona, and we found All You Knit Is Love, and I found this beautiful skein of yarn. Isn't it just amazing? The owner does the hand dyeing for this shop, and all of her yarns were beautiful. Unfortunately, she didn't have a lot in the store when we came, but I'm definitely gonna go back, maybe have a couple of days there. She promised that she'd be able to custom dye some of her colorways for me if I came back and had just a little bit more time. I am gonna add just a little bit of footage from the shop. It was a magical little spot in the middle of the city. I was going for sock yarn. The closest I could get was some merino superwash in a fingering weight. So what I am gonna do, either I am gonna add some, I have some very thin, kind of elastic see-through thread that I could knit it together with, or I'm gonna add some silk mohair, or I'm not gonna knit socks with it at all, just have it waiting for the perfect project. Time will tell what I'll do. I could not leave this yarn alone. It is so beautiful. The colorway is Monsoon, and yeah, beautiful. See, it's original Pia on top and it's new Pia on the bottom. It had my name written all over it. After Barcelona, we went back to Cannes, where we disembarked and we took the train across France up to Paris. We spent one day in Disneyland, one day in Walt Disney Studios, and it was magical. I love theme parks. One day I am gonna go to a theme park, just me and Peter, just to stroll around and take in all of the sights and not have to worry about this ride or that ride. But it was a lot of fun having the kids. We had Theodore, who's 2. He didn't really, I mean, he enjoyed the crepes and the ice cream and the playing around. But Victor, who's 4, and Isabella, who's 11, there was plenty for both of them to do. So I really appreciate a theme park that caters to different age groups, and I will say Disneyland and Walt Disney Studios definitely fit that bill. So we had some magical days there until we had to pack our suitcases for the final last time and go back home. So yeah, a beautiful week, beautiful 2 weeks, but not a lot of knitting time. Now Peter has gone to Italy. He's gonna go work on the house that he is renovating down there. I chose to stay back in Denmark just to relax and get some work done. So probably probably next week I will have a lot more knitting to share. Until I see you again, stay happy, stay safe, and keep knitting.